Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest events in the province. Ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Head of the Delegations of National Assembly of TayNinhTV Province, Ms. Hoàng Thị Thanh Thúy, on May 9, chairs a conference to collect opinions on the amended draft housing law.
The amended draft housing law in 2023 has increased by more than 13 articles compared to the 2014. Delegates focus on commenting on Article 14 that related to the time of establishing house ownership, regulations on the area where foreign organizations and individuals are allowed to buy and own houses in Vietnam at Article 18. Mr. Trần Xuân Long, Chief State Inspector of TayNinhTV Province, said that if the land law stipulates the rights of organizations, foreign individuals who are attached to the project ownership, which is limited for a certain period of time, this will cause conflicts and difficulties for management and enforcement agencies. If we follow the housing law, we also face many limitations. The housing market is manipulated. The drafting board is recommended to consider Article 18 and 19 of the housing law. Delegates gave their opinions. If it is a law, the regulations should not overlap or contradict each other. Regarding social housing, there are still many difficulties to assess. It is proposed to add other forms of payment without mandatory payment term of at least 5 years in order to expand conditions for some subjects who do not have enough financial resources to buy or hire purchase social housing, but they still can use the property and buy a house after fulfilling their financial obligations. The drafting agency is required to study and carefully consider the options on the following issues: determining the selling price, leasing and lease purchase of social housing that is not built by the state. The reason is that under Option 1, Article 85 of the draft law may push up social housing price, making it difficult for people to access social housing, especially for many workers. The amended draft housing law this time focuses on solving the inadequacy in practice. Over the past time, this housing law has received a lot of attention from the people, affecting other law projects such as changing the law on land and real estate. The requirement is how to unify and avoid overlap for this draft law to be applied to life. The first comment was made at the conference to collect comments on the amended draft law on real estate business organized by the National Assembly delegation of TayNinhTV Province. In the morning of May 9, the delegates commented on difficulties in the implementation process because of some unclear concepts in the amended draft law on real estate business. According to the opinions of the delegates, the regulations on conditions for organizations and individuals doing real estate business are still general. There are no regulations on conditions for investors in housing construction, leading to difficulties in the application of regulations. There were many opinions raised in the conference. These can be mentioned as adding the concept of tourist apartments, tourist villas, and explaining the words, proposing additional business types of infrastructure in industrial zones and cluster led to tax laws. The provisions of Article 61 have given the real estate trading floor to many rights that are not within its functions and duties, overlapped and conflict with other provisions of the law, especially regulations on notarization and authentication. In Clause 2, Article 48 of the Regulations on Real Estate Transaction Process, it is proposed to clearly define responsibilities when determining the real estate transaction price. In this case, specifically, the implementing entity is the management unit using real estate assets, and this unit is responsible for the results of determining the price of real estate transactions with the owner.
TayNinhTV City People's Committee announced that in 2023, TayNinhTV City will spend over 21 billion Vietnam dong to equip standard fire protection equipment for schools in the city.
With the new school being built, TayNinhTV City will ensure that the new fire protection equipment system will also be equipped with standards when taking over the work, and they will also have a plan to complete the new fire protection system, fire prevention and fighting equipment system, With a budget of over 21 billion Vietnam dong for schools that have been built for a long time, specifically as follows. For 15 schools from preschool to lower secondary school that are not equipped up to standards according to the new regulations, TayNinhTV will spend 7.6 billion Vietnam dong to renovate, repair and replace fire rotation equipment for schools. The remaining 7 schools have not yet invested in fire rotation system. The city will invest 14.2 billion Vietnam dong to equip new fire rotation system for schools. Funding for implementation from the local budget. The installation of fire rotation system in schools will be completed by the city in 2023.
Turn to other deal. The audience, the trade unions of Tây Ninh Economic Zone, on May 9 have a conference to propagate the laws on road traffic safety and the law on social insurance at Trảng Bàng Industrial Park.
This conference focused on propagating the law on road traffic order safety, specific regulations on sanctioning of administrative violations in the field of road traffic, especially prevention of harmful effects of alcohol in traffic. In addition, workers have the opportunity to be provided with information about social insurance and health insurance policies, including the value of monthly pensions and free health insurance cards that many people care about and interact with. The conference also communicated about the need, goals of the amendment and the main contents of the draft law on social insurance amended, creating consensus in the process of amending the law on social insurance. Workers are explained in detail about the payment rate and benefits rate of voluntary social insurance, along with a number of procedures when dealing with social insurance benefits. In order to develop the labor market and create jobs for workers in 2023, Tây Ninh province will focus on effectively implementing support, developing social security and insurance system for employees. Accordingly, Tây Ninh focuses on well implementing internal issues such as labor policy, employment, promote information, propaganda, and guide enterprises and employees on policies on labor employment, labor export, and social insurance. Promote the role and activities of the Provincial Labor Federation, the Provincial Business Association, and professional associations, thereby improving the effectiveness of the protection of labor rights as well as contributing to better implementation of human resource development policies, provide free legal consulting services as prescribed for employees upon request, simplify administrative procedures and build a mechanism to provide necessary administrative and legal support to employees participating in voluntary welfare programs such as social insurance, health insurance. At the same time, Tây Ninh will strengthen the inspection and examination of the observance of the law on labor, social insurance, health insurance, and unemployment insurance, handling timely complaints and recommendations of organizations and individuals on administrative regulations within their competence, ensuring that the implementation of administrative regulations is public, transparent, and in accordance with the order and procedures. In the afternoon of May 9, the Department of Education and Training held a meeting to review, recognize, and reward teachers who participated in lectures and competitions for good teachers at preschool level in 2022-2023 school year. There were 154 preschool teachers participated in the lecture, which took place from mid-February to early March 2023. As a result, over 96% of teachers met the requirements. This year's competition for good teachers, with the participation of 34 teachers, resulted in 91% of preschool teachers winning the title of Excellent Teaching at the provincial level. At the closing ceremony, the Department of Education and Training of Tây Ninh Province awarded certificates to 148 teachers who had won the Provincial Teaching Conference. 31 teachers were recognized as excellent teachers at the provincial level, commendation for excellent collectives of education and training departments in the 2022-2023 school year. in which the Department of Education and Training of Hoa Thanh Thao achieved the leading position. The second is Tân Biên District Unit. U Minh Châu and Châu Thành districts were ranked the third place. Tân Châu District and TayNinhTV City achieved consolation prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, most people in Hiệp Lệ neighborhood, Hiệp Ninh Ward, TayNinhTV City, now Miss Nguyễn Thị Kim Khoe, born in 1963. She has a son who is very diligent and well educated. For 15 years, she raised her child alone. She did not mind any work, on for the futures of her child.
Miss Khoe recounted she got married late until she was 34 years old. She gave birth to a son. Unfortunately, after a few years, her husband got sick and died. Since then on, the burden of family have fallen on her shoulders. In order to have money to raise her child, she did many things. Even she did not mind working as a servant. The work is hard and far from home, so she was very worried that her son could be distracted from his studies. So she came back to the house to find a more suitable job. With the desire to earn money at that time, she could take care of and manage her child's education. Recalling the sewing profession she learned when she was young, she started working. At first, she received processing items for people. Gradually, she switched to receiving items for people in the religious area. Although it was not much, it was enough for her to pay for her life, raise her child, and let him go to the school. My son understands the family situation, so he is very good. When he grows up, he goes to school properly. He understands his mother and society, so he always tries to learn not to do things that make me sad. I feel happy for that. Her son is Phạm Công Thanh, born in 1996. Soon becoming an orphan, the older he gets, the more he feels the immense love and sacrifice of his mother. Therefore, even though sometimes because of a child's playfulness, he neglects his studies, he still promptly corrects himself to complete high school and then become a student at TayNinhTV Medical Intermediate School. With outstanding academic achievements, right after graduation, Tan was accepted to work as a nurse at the orthopedic department of TayNinhTV General Hospital. Striving to fulfill his dream, Tan worked and went to university, and he also finished his study after more than 2 years. I try to study and be aware of learning, so I try to study until 12th grade. I can only do my best. Sacrificing everything for her child, Miss Khoe never was limited. She also never thought about finding new happiness for herself because of how much love she had for her child. I would like to send gratitude to my mother for raising me up to this point without having anyone else. My mother has worked so hard for me. I promise to try harder to be a fulcrum for my mother for the rest of her life. Now the life of Miss Khoe and her son has gradually become more stable. She always silently do everything for her child. No matter how old you are still the child of mother. Your mother's heart still follows you.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.